Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're going to show you how to transform this kitchen with Black&Decker PureOptics LED under cabinet lighting. The pantry closet had been outfitted with xenon puck under cabinet lighting, but over the lifetime that we had it, it burned through lots of bulbs. The light output was never that great. They also burned really hot, and then one day they just stopped working. This great new product from Black&Decker called PureOptics LED bar lights will really last a lifetime. It lasts up to 15 years or more without ever the need to change any bulbs or anything. They're a lot brighter, and because it's a bar system, it's going to cast a lot better lighting in the space. We're going to show you how easy it can be done. It's something anybody can do at home. It can be done tool-free, or in this case, we're going to use a few tools just to make it for a really true and visible installation. Let's show you how easy it can be done.
So let's first check out what's inside the kit. This is a 5-bar light kit, which means it has 5 of the bars. They also sell a 3-bar kit. There's 1-bar kits. There's 1-bar add-ons. There's even 18 and 24-inch length kits. So it's really versatile. You can mix and match some of the components in the system. It is dependent on how many lights you have, what size power pack you have. But let's check it out. Okay, so this is the standard 5-bar kit again, as we say. So the first thing we obviously have is we have the owner's manual. Really important. It's real simple to install, but the owner's manual will really help us get all the steps right so we don't make any mistakes as we go along the process. Next is this really cool, this is a little spacer, and what this helps us do is it really helps guide the setback of the lights from the front of the cabinet, so that way it gives us the optimum lighting. It helps also make sure that the bar is hidden behind the face frame of the cabinet so we won't really see it. And this is just a great added detail that makes the installation a lot simpler and a lot easier for even a novice do-it-yourselfer. Okay? The other items in the kit include the bars. Okay, you'll notice there's 5 bars in this kit. Okay, and there's two that are slightly different because they have switches on them. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then over here we have a power pack. Okay, and then what's really cool about this kit is this really neat hands-free switch. Okay, and what this switch allows you to do is just with a simple wave of the hand over the front, that turns the lights on and off. It also has this handy little timer, and that allows us to set the timer where the lights will automatically shut off after 3 hours. It's great in a house like ours because we tend to leave a lot of lights on. What's also cool is it can be wired from either side. So we can run lights off one side or both sides of the switch, and that makes it real versatile. So it allows us to install it in a variety of locations, and most systems today on the market can only be wired in one way. We can put the switch anywhere we like. We can put it on this side of the cabinets if we want. If we wanted to move it to a more popular workspace where we tend to work more, we could also do that and run lights off both sides. And it's also a lot more convenient than having a wall switch, okay, that we would have to reach all the way to the backsplash, move to one side of the room or the other. This we just put where we tend to work the most, and then even if our hands are wet or filthy, we can simply wave the hand. We don't have to touch anything, and the lights will come on and off, okay? As we look down at these bars, what's really cool, additionally to that switch to turn the bars on and off, there's 2 bars that also have little switches on them. And what these switches do, we tend to put these at either end of the run, so the left or the right side of the kitchen, one on each side. And it also creates an additional switching point where we can turn the lights on and off, or we can also just push the button and go through the dimming settings. What's awesome about this kit is it has up to 10 dimming settings. So we can have it really bright for when we're working, and then if we just want it for ambiance lighting or for decor purposes, we can dim it down to something that's not as bright. So that's a really handy feature and a great overall. Also in the kit, we have a few different bags of parts, okay? And basically the parts are, we have some wire clips, and these are for basically clipping down the jumper wires or the power wires so we can make sure that they're hidden up underneath the cabinets and out of view. And the next bag includes the clips that we actually clip onto the lighting. And everything's uses 3M VHB tape. It sticks really well to almost any surface. The only thing you have to be concerned with if there's any grease contamination. But another nice attention to detail item that Black&Decker has done is include the screws as well. So if you do want a screw mount, or if you have underneath a stove area or something that's contaminated with a lot of grease that you can't seem to clean off, you can actually just add some screws in as well, and that will definitely hold it. But this 3M VHB tape just works really, really well. You don't really need the screws. We haven't come across any installations where we really need them. Next is we have a lot of different jumper wires. Black&Decker really did their homework here. The majority of the jumper wires are 30 inches long. Most kits, they're just simply too short to really space evenly across the kitchen or jump across the cabinets the way you need to. That causes you to have to either buy more kits, buy more lights, or you just can't simply do a nice install. This kit has 30-inch jumpers that covers most of the standard kitchen cabinet widths, plus the 9-inch light bar that goes in the middle of each one. So it's really great for up to 36-inch cabinet widths. Additionally, it also has some longer jumper wires and some shorter wires. One of the long jumpers is if you have to jump across a window, a sink, or a stove area, and it's really the only kit on the market that includes this standard. Most kits don't include it at all, so you're just stuck. There's no way to get around your kitchen or your oven, the window or the oven. And some, you can order it as an accessory. This kit obviously includes it. There's also some shorter wires and some adapters to make custom-sized wires. Really, really versatile. Nothing else like it that we've come across on the market. So it really just makes that installation really simple, really easy. So again, you can do it at home. You can do it very, very fast. So now we'll move on to the next step, okay? And typically, we would just center the lights between each of the cabinets. But in this case, because we have this wall here, okay, and it runs into the corner, we're actually going to just take one measurement. Instead of just sticking the lights up under the center, we're actually going to measure. You don't necessarily have to do that if we weren't running into a corner, but Alex and I both have OCD, so we really want the light on the backsplash to be nice, evenly spaced, and very, very clean throughout, so it looks nice and even. What we'll do is we'll just measure the center points. We'll divide this length in 3 spaces and just put little pencil marks, and then we'll go about sticking the under cabinet lights up. On this side, because we just have 2 cabinets, we're just going to gauge it by eye and stick it up underneath. With the clip system, we do have some flexibility to slide the light to one side or the other, so that way we can accommodate if we're not perfect on just guesstimating with our eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to just measure in 3 equal measurements. We know this first measurement is going to be at 14.5. So Alex has just got her tape measure here. She's just going to put a pencil mark, and literally that's all we have to do. We'll also measure 14.5 from the other end, and then split the distance here in the middle of the cabinets. And then we'll have 3 pencil marks, and we'll be able to evenly space the lights across this backsplash from wall to wall. The next step is to identify where we're going to plug in the light system, as well as where we want the switch, okay? The switch we really want where we work the most. So that way, if we forget to turn the lights on, it's typically right where we are standing already. We just reach up, wave, and turn it on. However, we also need to find a location for the power pack. The easiest thing to do is just simply find a wall outlet and plug it in there. This is also the best way to do it for tool-free. We just plug it in an outlet and then run it up the back of the wall and place our switch right under here, okay? In this kitchen, we actually, inside this cabinet, we have an outlet. So we're going to tap into that and actually just use that. And what we're going to do is we're literally going to plug in here and then run the wire down along the inside of this face frame. And we'll just drill one little hole from the bottom of this cabinet here up through here to pass the power wire down into the switch. I really want the power wire to come up inside the corner, the inside corner of the cabinet. So I'm just going to put a hole as close to this corner as possible. Leave myself a little distance away from the face frame so I don't damage it or anything like that. But I'm just going to take my drill bit, start here. Again, you don't got to go full speed, just nice and slow with a little pressure on the back of the drill. You don't want to be pushing too hard and going too fast. A lot of times the particle board cabinets, you can blast through. So once we get that, we're just going to pull it and we're good. Let us show you what we did with the wire. So we have it coming out now through the hole in the bottom, and this is where our switch location is going to be. But then what we did is we just pushed it inside the face frame, okay? And it goes behind these cabinet shelves, and I'll try and peek in there, and you can see it goes right through that seam there. Now we just removed the shelves out of the cabinet and put that wire behind that seam. This was a little difficult because we have these locking cabinet shelf supports, And so it was kind of, we had to unload all the shelves and then pop those out. It was a little bit of a pain. Hopefully a lot of cabinets just have regular shelf support brackets without that locking tab. Makes it a little bit easier. But now that wire is nice and hidden inside the face frame. Up top, we'll put a couple wire clips up later that will keep that wire to the top, but you can't even see it. It's out of the way of the cabinet. So it's perfect. Okay, now we're going to plug in the switch, stick it up, and move on to the next step. What I like to do next is to lay everything out on the countertop so we can pick the right size jumper wires, make sure we have all the components we need. So we've done this right side of the kitchen or the pantry, and we've laid out 30-inch jumpers between all of the lights, except at the very end where we plug into the switch. Here we used one of the 12-inch jumpers, and that's what's awesome about this Black&Decker PureOptics kit. It does include so many jumper options. It allows us a lot of flexibility so we can properly position everything. So in this case, we just used a 12-inch jumper. None of the other kits on the market really come with that number of jumper wires to allow for this flexibility. So on this side, we're actually going to show you exactly how we did this. And the first step is to put the little clips on each light. They simply snap on. And again, they have the double-sided tape. And you just place them over the bar and then snap it down. We like to leave them about 1.5 inches from the end of the light. That allows us to slide the light back and forth to really center it on the cabinet so we don't have to fuss too much with any measurements or anything. The next step is to actually just attach the jumper wires. These are simply plug and play. And what I like to do is, we always like to work from the switch. That just makes it a little bit easier for spacing everything. We just plug it into the switch, and then into the light, and then we're going to connect the last bar into the string. And again, works really easy. We just plug them into each light. And again, lots of options available in the kit. If we needed to run a longer string, or there was a sink or anything we had to jump, we could use one of the longer wires that we're not using in this installation. The next thing we want to do is actually just plug it into the power switch or the power adapter, which we had already run that wire. So we're just going to plug that into the back of it and just test the on and off switch. And this is awesome. This is the hands-free switch that, again, you simply just wave your hand. What's awesome about this is if your hands are wet or dirty, there's no mess, no fuss. You just wave under the cabinet and it's going to turn the lights on. So this is really, really slick, really cool. Additionally, what's amazing about this system is we also have switches on both ends. There's a switch on this end, and you'll see the button here. And there's also one on the opposite end. So we have plenty of locations wherever we are within this pantry, we're going to be able to turn these lights on and off. So we're just going to test this one, make sure it works. It turns on by that switch. And then we're going to run through the dimming settings as well, just to make sure we can dim it all the way down. Again, there's 10 levels of dimming. So we just press and hold the button down, and you'll see as we go through the stages of dimming. And it's going to go all the way down to a nice dim setting, great for ambiance. And then what's awesome is if we shut it off, it's going to remember the last setting it was on. It doesn't go back on full bright, it remembers that setting. So that's a very convenient feature. And then we're going to just turn them all the way back up to full bright, make sure everything's functioning and that the whole string of lights is working in tandem. Everything's perfect. With that, we're ready to stick up the lights. Now, if we were going to do the tool-free installation, we could literally just stick the lights up here. We'd simply put them on, peel the backings off, place the lights where we need it using our spacer, and then we'd run this wire to the back using the clips to keep it up tight, and then just jump across here. Now, you would see this little piece of wire here between the seam of the two cabinets. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to drill some holes in the front side here, and that's going to hide the wire perfectly. Again, you can do it either way. It's your preference. We like to do it through here so that way we don't see the wire at all. So let me show you how to do that. What we're going to use is just, again, the same drill. It's the only tool we need, 1/2-inch drill bit. And we're just going to drill in between the two cabinets. So let me show you how we do that. This is a great DeWalt 12-volt drill, so it's a pretty small body. So I can get up pretty tight between the two seams because I do want to keep my drill bit as level as possible. I don't want to go at a big angle because I'm going to go up into the side of the cabinet. In this case, I have enough space here, so I'm just going to drill as straight as I can, as close to the corner as I can. Okay, so now if you look, we got a hole right in that corner, and that's what we're going to run the wire through. So now what we'll use is this little handy spacer that Black&Decker's included in the PureOptics kit. And this helps us set the setback of how far we want the light behind this face frame. That allows for maximum lighting on the backsplash to keep that looking nice, as well as the maximum task lighting on our work area. But it also helps make sure we hide that light so you don't really see it from if you're standing or if you're even seated across at a bar top area or countertop area. So let me show how you do that. We could just use the spacer and then hold it against our face frame and stick the light up. In this case, if we look underneath, you'll see our cabinets here. We have these little reinforcement angles pieces here. It makes it hard to fit this in. So I'm just going to fold it, and I'm just going to make 2 pencil marks roughly so I can see where to align the front edge of the light. Okay. Once I have that, I've peeled the backing off our light bar. Again, we want the clips about 1.5 inches from the bottom. I'm just going to find the approximate middle. I don't have to be perfect here. And I'm going to line it up on those little the pencil marks that we made. Press it, hold it for a second, and we're good. As we've talked about, we can slide the lights back and forth a little bit, so we don't have to be perfect. If we're not perfectly centered, I can come back later and adjust the bar. That's all there is to. We're going to go through, stick up all the lights, as well as the switch. To ensure the proper spacing of our switch, for this light, I'm going to attach the jumper right to the switch. Make sure we don't place it too far away. And then I'm going to just find my marks, line up the light, and we're going to stick it. And again, we have some flexibility to slide back and forth here to center it. And then the last step here is just to peel the backing here and attach our hands-free switch.
So our next step is to connect the wires to the light. And I'll feed it through the hole that we made with the drill. And connect it to the light over here. I'm going to do the other wire over here and connect it to the same light. And there we go. So that side is done. For this side, this wire is going to go through the hole and into the switch over here. Now it'll connect it to the switch. And finally, the last light. Connect it to this other light. And there we go. All the wires are now connected.
The last step to finish up is just to clip all the wires up. We simply take the double-sided sticky tape off, we peel it, and we're just going to stick them up. We made a few different spots. Okay, and they just stick again. Just put a little pressure on them and they stick up. And once they set, they'll set into place pretty quickly. And again, this 3M adhesive tape that's on these will really hold for the lifetime of the project. Okay.
Any more excess?
One more over here, I think we can put. Probably right over here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you know, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're never going to see under there. And then we're just going to go and we're going to push the wire up into those clips and then bend it back down. And that will hold the wire out of the way. Okay. And then, as we can see, she's going to do some last minute tidying. There's just a loop here. And we'll just tuck that in this way a little. Okay, good. Okay, and then, as you can see, We don't see any wires. Let's test them. Let's put them on and off. Perfect. All right, so we're completed. The project's done. Let's see how they look, Alex. Let's turn them on. Wow, so you can see the difference it makes in this pantry closet. Really casts a lot of light. Great for if you're trying to read a recipe card or just working on the countertops. And additionally, we can dim them down for just ambiance, which is great for entertaining. Alex, what did you think about the lights?
I liked how there's a hands-free switch, and also how there is a on and off switch on both ends. And the dimming settings are really great.
Oh, let me grab the light. So this is really cool. What's neat about this is obviously, well, we'd have them on full bright if we're working in the kitchen, but if we're entertaining, we would just want them on for ambiance. We can dim them down, and it really creates an amazing effect. It really brightens up the kitchen and creates a little bit of drama inside your house. What else did you think, Alex?
And how easy it was to install.
Yeah, so again, this project took us a total of about, maybe 40 minutes. We did it over the last 2 days, a little bit last night just because we had some time. We finished up this morning. So about 40 minutes, and again, that's with drilling the holes to run the wires. We didn't really need to drill the holes. We could have done the tool-free installation. That would have taken a little less time, probably about 20 minutes there for a 5-bar light kit. But it's pretty amazing. Black&Decker and their PureOptics LED kit really has taken the guesswork out of putting up the lights, really simplified it. The versatility of the kit with all of the different jumper cable lights, the hands-free adapter, and obviously the longevity of LED lighting in general. It's just a really amazing product. You can find them at PureOpticsLED.com as well as at a lot of the major home centers. Thanks for having us, and we'll see you soon.